So, and we know that once we do these things, we know we're doing some of the right, some really key pieces are coming out of this. So Nina's going to talk about what this diversity map is.
Excuse me one second. Can I just interrupt? Is it okay if I record this? I should have been recording it from the beginning, and I'm so sorry I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay, thanks.
It says it's recording.
Pardon me?
In the top left corner for me on my screen, it says recording. So I thought
Yeah, I just did that now. That's why I'm asking, is it okay?
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
So sorry, Nina. Please continue.
It's okay, no problem.
Fascinating.
So when we have our mission, the why we're doing what we're doing, and training our tutors, they really feel empowered to do their role as a tutor. And then this is just an idea of something that the tutors came up with, an idea that they wanted to do is a map, a diversity map to represent them. So this is where our tutors are from, their native countries, or their, where they're from. And this really represents, it's an artifact that they're really proud of. They came up with the idea, the program supported, and that's an ongoing thing that we're doing. And it's really cool to see them taking ownership of the role that the important role that they have in the lives of our students and within our program.
Yeah, so this is a really strong artifact that shows if we're putting this idea of equity and that we care about you as an individual and how you see yourself, and this is what we're thinking about in this empathy move of we're working with folks that aren't you, that haven't been in your same journey. And this is something that bubbled up, right? That the tutors are like, well, let's make a diversity map that shows who we are and where we come from, and we'll keep building off of this. So that's like a qualitative example, which is really neat. Quantitatively, if we look at, I'm going to show you just 3 simple examples because we have limited time. So we looked at DI groups, or disproportionately impacted groups on our campus. So that blue dotted line is our Mesa College campus success rate. And if you look what's happening with our tutoring program, these in each case, if we disaggregate between these different groups, first generation students, Latinx students, and African American students, their success rate when not tutored on our campus, and we're serving when this is looking over the course of 3 years. This is a 3-year look at our tutoring program data. We are making a difference, right? I know it's correlation, not causation, but we're really looking at this idea that we are taking a deep dive into equity in our program. It starts in our training course day 1. We start looking at data across the state, the nation, let alone California, and at Mesa College specifically. And we're really focusing on this idea of closing equity gaps. If we're noticing that certain groups are not as successful as other groups on our campus, why is that? And what can tutoring do? How can that transformational move of, if I'm going to improve my tutoring, my leadership, my andragogical knowledge, and my equity, if I'm focusing on these 4 things, what happens? And we're seeing right here that something dramatic can happen across groups. So this is a cross-campus look, and just a couple of examples at course level looks at the same idea. This blue dotted line again is our English 101, or our entry level, college level reading and writing course, is a 73% success rate across the campus. If we disaggregate between these groups, they are beneath that average, but tutored groups within those same ethnicities and areas are above that average. So we're doing some good things there. And then as a math or STEM example, if we're looking at our trigonometry course, same thing. And we know, I know there's a number of math people in here. So we have not a fantastic success rate across the campus, but tutoring for sure is helping here. And it's very dramatically low for African American males there. So those are just a few examples. We had a small time slot and just a real quick snapshot. If you did have more questions, you can feel free to contact me. Again, that's one of our Mesa College graduates right there on the right. Can I double down on that joke? No? Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them or see what we got. So thank you so much.
We have one question, which is, can you share this with us?
Yep.
You can use the
do that right now
that I used, or you could put it in the, if you could put it in the chat, or you could send it to us, that'd be amazing. Michelle, well, yeah, do we want to have Michelle present, or would we rather talk with Mark and Nina some more and maybe ask Michelle, what do y'all think? I don't know how much time we have.
I mean, I do have a meeting at 2, so I have to go just a few minutes early. I think it'd be better for me to just present next time, and that way we can really focus on the presentation we just saw. I'd be fine with that.
Okay, that would be wonderful, because I really want to hear about advertising as well.
Sure.
So that sounds great. And I guess the next point of business will be to figure out when that will be. But for now, can we have some more questions? And for Mark and Nina, then gives you guys more time.
Yeah, I have a quick, well, maybe a quick question. Thanks, Mark and Nina. Can you explain when you said I was looking at your charts for the tutored population, did you count, can you describe that? Is it just attends once? Was that across semesters? I don't know if I just I don't know if I missed it.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So yeah, we work with our Office of Institutional Research and we do attempts. Yeah, so we do have other data broken down by number of attempts, but that is looking at tutored. It means I attempted tutoring at least one time. The subject specific ones, that was a fall 2019 look. That school-wide one was a 3-year look. And again, the way somebody was put into tutored or not tutored is if they signed up for a tutoring session, they enrolled in a tutoring session, that puts them in the tutoring, and then we have everybody else in our population. So again, that data is looking at about 11% of our school population. We're a very large campus. We have about 25,000 students. So yeah, we're looking at about 3,000, 4,000 students.
I love the module idea. I wrote in the chat that we do a couple of those. We've done Safe Zone and neurodiversity training for several years, but I like the idea of this module, and then they get a certificate, something to kind of show for it beyond, putting it on their CV or resume. So how are those modules delivered? Is it like, yeah. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so one that we've fully already kind of fleshed out is we have ELAC certification. So our tutors go through a series of workshops and we hold these on, we have this known tutoring time. So it's our Friday afternoon training, right? It's a really snazzy name. It is what it says it is. So we know on Friday afternoons, we offer a series of workshops that are put on by a number of people. It could be a faculty member across campus. It could be put on by, the EOPS director wants to come in. I kind of coordinate and organize all that, all the way to our tutors and our mentor tutors. So we're supporting them, starting to get into this idea of presenting, and I'm a part of this educational process. And for the ELAC specific ones, I've worked with a couple of different faculty members who are ELAC or ESL faculty members, and they created a series of 5-7 workshops that they put on and repeat, and they're about an hour long. Now we've continued this online. We're still now it's only online. This was in person before, and there's different topics. It could be one would be like grammar, one was like directive, non-directive, ESL tutoring, those kind of things. And after these tutors, they can show up to these workshops. They can just do 1 or 2 if they want, but over the course of that semester, if they go to 4 or 5 of them, they are then certified through our school program. It's a really prestigious, world-renowned certification process. I'm sure you've heard of it. But yes, it is something like, hey, I'm now ELAC certified, and it really does build confidence, because that's something, there's a gap, and especially a lot of our writing tutors. But this is not just for writing. One of the things we discovered right away was we not need ELAC certification just to support writing, but across the curriculum. How do I do this in math? How do I do this in chemistry? Those kind of spaces, there's a lot of gaps in there. And so having a centralized program like that really does help bring this idea together. Like, what does it mean to learn in another language across subjects? And that's been really interesting as well.
Is there?
So you're bringing faculty in. Faculty are doing some of those. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, anybody on campus, faculty,
your program.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's super helpful, and let alone having the tutors help do some of those workshops and working with faculty or working with each other. It's really neat to watch that grow.
Cool.
Do you pay your tutors for that time, or do they just?
Certainly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Other comments for Mark and Nina? I had a question about the pillars. Are they displayed in the center, or how does the pillars feature into your overall program?
Yeah, so there's a running joke in our program that I love. Any kind of domain or any kind of framework. So yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, so they're in all of our centers. It starts in our training sessions. We start talking about these ideas of these frameworks, and it's about for me, philosophically, when I talk about something like those 4 pillars of tutoring, leadership, andragogy, and equity. One thing I talk to the tutors about is all I'm asking you to do. It's like a way. It's a metacognitive move to bring yourself to the job. I'm asking for you to get better in one or more of these domains. Not perfect, not done. You're not going to wake up and then say, wow, I am now completely equitable. That was really hard to do. I'm glad that's over. Right? There's nothing like that happening. So it's just I'm going to keep trying to get better and something that resonates with me. So let's say when I first start on this journey, leadership really resonates with me for some reason. Great, and that's something you can focus on. And then what the tutors start to notice is when you start to deepen your knowledge in any of those domains, it clearly drips and leaks and is all connected to all the other domains. So you're not really doing this in an isolated fashion. You're really deepening in all of them once you start to work on them.
Wow.
How many tutors do you have? I mean, you could break it out for writing center and subject or specific if that's helpful.
Yeah, so our pinnacle, I would say, was last fall. So fall 19, we were up to 150. Through everything that we're doing and through the cuts we've gone through, we're down to 75 right now. So we grew. So I've been at Mesa for 5 years. I was brought there to run this program and to develop this program and built it up over those 5 years. And now we're just riding that wave of what we're all doing, right? So.
And that doesn't count SI leaders. That's just tutors, right? 150 is just tutors.
So the way our program works is we do have some folks who are just embedded or SI, but a lot of our tutors do both. So when I give a number like that, I mean our entire program is 150, including embedded.
I just love the data so much, Mark, and we're trying to do similar deep dives at CI. It's hard because I'm not sure when to start looking. Like, do I look the years before I was on campus when the training for tutors looked very different and things like that? But I'm very grateful for the PowerPoint and to be able to potentially show what the data could show us if we dig in accurately and with purpose. So thank you so much for sharing this.
You're welcome. And one thing I might offer, and you may have already done this. So when I came, I had that very same thought, and so I did a qualitative pre, and then I've now been able. This is part of that post. So the pre was, do you know there's tutoring? Some of the questions were like, do you know there's tutoring at this campus? Have you used tutoring? Those kind of like qualitative ideas, just to see. And the first time I did a post was 3 years later, to see how much of that had changed, how often your faculty member mentions tutoring, and all these things shifted because we this onslaught of just like bringing a program, a centralized, but this is our tutoring here. It gets into all of our classes. We work with all the different programs. It's not all separated into different pockets. And we saw a dramatic shift that yes, more faculty members are mentioning tutoring in my class. Yes, I know there's tutoring through this campus. Yes, I utilize tutoring, those kind of things. So the qualitative pieces, and then watching the quantitative pieces kind of lockstep move with that.
Amazing. And thank you to you as well, Nina. I didn't mean to leave you out there, but that's great. I wish I'd had that idea about 1.5 years ago to do the qualitative first.
Well, I think that it's compelling to administrators to look at current data, visitors versus non-visitors. I don't know, Mark, what you found, but my administrators love that. And they prefer more current data comparing visiting and non-visiting. Like you say, yes, it's not necessarily causal, but I've also broken it down by 1 visit or 2 visits, as opposed to just coming once. I think that you can really show an impact, but then we've got kids who've come like more times than classes. I had some in the like 69, 70, like, really, maybe they just hang out here. But so I don't think you need to worry that you should have started at the beginning. Personally, they love current data, from at least my administration does.
Yeah, we've noticed a bell curve of attempts where the more you attend, of course, the better you're going to do. But then there's like the saturation point where if you go too much, maybe there's something going on here, and then the success rate actually goes back down. But Nina, I was wondering if you wanted to share. I know you mentioned a little bit when you introduced yourself about some of the qualitative ways that we check in to see how tutors are feeling about their sessions and their returning and things like that, and how we've been doing that.
You mean the post session survey?
Yeah, with using my WCO and getting a lot of people in here use my WCO.
Yeah, so one of the things, one of the ways we look at data is also the post session survey that is sent by WCO. If you're using WCO, you can set up automatically to send an email, and we do that every day. So students who got tutoring, they're in our system, they get this survey, and it's an anonymous survey. And then I go in the back end every month and I take a look at the responses. So that gives us a good, and the questions vary from the technological part and possible challenges that they're facing, so we can kind of try to fix or break down barriers, less steps to get tutoring, but also the qualitative. So there's open-ended questions about the tutors and about the tutoring session itself. And then one of the things that we do is we create appreciation cards with a positive feedback, and we before we would hand them to the tutors, but now we send it via email. And it's really, tutors are really grateful and happy to see the feedback, because the feedback is 99% of the time positive. It's like, I had a great session, I really enjoyed, very supportive, kind tutor, really helped me, I only succeeded because of my tutor, things like that. So I think that's a really good reminder for the tutor that what they're doing is actually making a difference. And then the amount of replies that I get in my email, it's like, hey, Nina, thank you so much for this. And it's like, that's not me, that's you. It's your work, right? I'm just sending this out. I'm just organizing these responses. So they are really grateful. And I think that helps them stay motivated and understand the impact that they're having. And then we have cases of students who come back after years or after months and share, where they are at in life and how they succeeded. And those are really cool stories. I know Mark is humanizing data right now. It's not looking only at numbers and percentages and looking at graphs, but actually hearing the stories behind those numbers, right? It's like, who are these students, right? Let's listen to them. So Mark and I have been doing it with focus groups. I know Mark interviewed a few students last semester, just to hear these stories and share with our tutors. I think that's the best way to show them what you're doing. It's not just on this essay number 2. What you're doing is really changing lives and closing gaps.
Great, thank you for that. And thank you to Nina and Mark for presenting. Michelle, next time for sure, you will present with us. And we want to honor and stay true to time. But before we end our session, we just wanted to get your feedback on today's hour, Power Hour, where we were learning about different strategies from the various centers. We are moving forward, ideally meeting once a month. Was that too much for the group? We're hoping that as time moves on and we word of mouth spreads quickly, that maybe we'll have more join us next time, and it will just slowly build from there. But we were thinking once a month, maybe the end of the month. Of course, not during holidays or when we're on break, but ideally, is that would that be ideal for everyone? Monthly meetings?
Great.
And that gives us time to go back to our centers and maybe try some things, come back, give feedback, and maybe come up with more ideas instead of trying to meet bi-weekly, for example. So in the chat, so, okay. Perfect. So did it work for us to send out, I know Janet sent out a survey for everyone to fill out for their times, available times. We can continue with the same procedure each month to see, or maybe Janet, after every meeting, maybe next week sometime, or after next week, because I know it's break time, but if we can send it out to everyone to see, then so the next month will be in December. Was that okay? I know we'll be wrapping up for final exams, but is that okay for everyone before, I think January or February will be too long. So can we squeeze in one more for December?
Okay, we'll try it for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
That sounds great.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll send
Awesome.
you a when is good kind of thing, and send it
Yes.
to anybody that you know of. And I just love having a speaker each time. So we have Michelle next time. We'll just have one, and then think of how, something that you'd like to share with us, because that's
Yes.
how we learn best. And like I said, I loved the presentation with Mark and Nina for really thoughtful, a lot to think about, as well as just our introduction. So appreciate it. Okay. That's it. We
All
will
right,
all be in
thanks.
touch. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
Have
everyone.
a safe break.
folks.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be
Holiday.
safe.
Thanks for
Nice to
organizing.
meet you
Thanks,
all.
everyone.
That was great.
I think it went great. Yeah.
That was better than I am, way
Yeah.
better than I anticipated.
I didn't know what to think for the first
I
meeting,
can't,
but
it was great. Holy crap.
it went well.
It was
Yeah.
really great. Oh my
It was
gosh.
good.
So I took lots of notes, and maybe, I was thinking if we could have do you ever use Slack?
No, I signed up for it with my tutors, but then we kind of fell off of Slack. We don't use it. I'm not familiar with it. My tutors used it
Okay.
more than I did. It was more for them to communicate while in breakout rooms.
Yeah.
But we've since changed our model. So we don't really